When I was first diagnosed, I I felt really alone, and I had friends that just stopped talking to me. A lot of times people think that you're overreacting or faking or whatever it is, and finally I just said, screw this crap. I don't want people feeling like this anymore. That's not okay, and it's not okay to treat people that way either. And so my whole goal has to been to be there for others the way that I needed at the time. Our minds can be a scary place. They can tell us things that
Amen.
are not true. It can get us believing that people think things of us that they don't really think. I mean, our minds are a really scary, scary place to be sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
there's a
can.
level of toxic positivity that you want to avoid, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, you don't want to get stuck in that mind frame of, this is how my life is going to be and it's over and I don't matter and I don't have anything to offer because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are or what your situation is. You always have something to offer. There's going to be somebody out there that needs to hear what you have to say and what you've dealt with. Maybe they're dealing with the same thing, and that's why they need you to speak up.
As cheesy as it sounds, it gets better. I know it's always hard to tell someone that, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's a slow process. Like it doesn't take one day or a week or a month. It might take years to see progress.
yeah. And we need to allow ourselves to grieve. We need to allow ourselves to feel the anger, the frustration, the pain. It's okay. That's part of it. That's part of it. It's just, I think we need to find a way to put a time limit on it. And that's really hard to do. There might have been something that happened yesterday that is now affecting me today, but I have to find a way to put a time limit on that anger. Otherwise, it's going to take over my life. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. I to even try to describe the pain of what I was going through. And so probably the easiest way to refer to it is medically induced psoriasis. And it's super rare, but it does happen. And when they warn us that these big powerful drugs have a lot of side effects, it's very true. There's a lot of possible side effects, and so we have to kind of once again prepare ourselves to deal with that. And I don't think I did. I think I foolishly thought that whatever magical pill or biologic infusion that they were going to give me was going to be like this instant cure and solve all my issues, right? That's not how it works. And my family doctor, he described it as looking like a burn victim. He said, you look like you have
Oh my god.
burns from inside out. So instead of the burn starting on the outside, they were starting on the inside. And so my skin almost looked like an onion trying to peel its way to a healthier version of itself. And what basically happens with psoriasis is your skin is trying to grow faster. It's trying to build itself faster than it actually can, which you'd think that our skin trying to do this is a good thing, but it's actually not because it doesn't slough off like it should. Oh, oh gosh, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible because, just picture these boils all over the bottom of your feet that are oozing and every time you take off a pair of socks, your skin goes with it.
Oh my god.
I mean, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. It's like, do I wear socks because later I have to take them off and that's going to hurt? But protecting my feet from the elements, that kind of feels good too. So it's a lot of like, what the hell do I do? Because I can't win if I do this and I can't win if I do that. So what is my best option? So this is it. It's a little handheld
Okay.
device
Okay.
and it pairs with my phone. It the whole app and everything. It tracks my treatments, tells me when I need to do them. It tells me how long to do it, and all I have to do is like take it, push a button, set it on my hand. That's it, and it takes me about 5 minutes, 3 times a week. So they're not paying me or anything like that, but they did give me the device to try free of charge, which is amazing, and they're incredible, and I love this company that they have the sweetest, most responsive people. I actually have a person that's partnered to me that checks in on me, and she'll check the pictures as they look at the app, and she'll let me know how it's looking and comment on the progress. It's amazing. So the company is called Zerigo. Zerigo Health. We have no other choice, right? So it's either I let my life end or I fight for what I can. And, I choose the latter, of course. But, for everybody, depending on what you're dealing with, it's all different, right? But at the end of the day, it's that choice we make, right? Being comfortable in my own skin to be honest and share my story, I'm hoping that I'm making other people comfortable with sharing with me too.
Yeah, I know you're comfortable in your own skin, but you're getting uncomfortable in your own body.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hello, welcome to my podcast, Two Mics, One Joe Suit. I'm Joe Suit. I'll be giving my to Jen. Jen is currently dealing with rheumatoid arthritis and palmoplantar pustulosis psoriasis. She's also a mindset
It's a
coach and
mouthful.
I just have to say it just so everyone can watch me mess up. I think it's important for the world. And I don't know
Yeah.
whoever came up with them. I don't know why, if they were like wanting to mess it up or make it complicated for no reason. But I'm just glad they're rare diseases and no one had to say this 100,000 times. But to continue, you're also a mindset coach and a podcaster, and it's called My Spoony Sisters. You're extremely positive on your social media and always helping others. How are you handling yourself?
Yeah. I take one day at a time because this is the life that we were given and we all have something to offer. Despite what we're dealing with, let's find a way to get through the day and bring a little fun along the way.
Yeah, I just know that sometimes when someone's a little too positive, sometimes I feel like they're hurting themselves, and you always express what you want others to help you. So I'm just wondering how you are feeling, that maybe you are feeling down, but I think we both know we were in shitty positions at one time in our lives, and we don't want others to feel that too. So I just was hoping you're okay, that you're not in a down position,
Yeah.
that maybe I can help you lift you up.
Yeah, absolutely. To be honest, when I was first diagnosed, I I felt really alone and I had friends that just stopped talking to me. A lot of times people think that you're overreacting or faking or whatever it is. And finally, I just said, screw this crap. I don't want people feeling like this anymore. That's not okay. And it's not okay to treat people that way either. And so my whole goal has been to be there for others the way that I needed at the time.
Yeah, I feel you. It's a very tricky situation, and as much preparation as someone can prepare you for any diagnosis, it really doesn't. It's never enough to prepare for, like you mentioned, like people leaving you and not wanting to be there for you, and people thought that you were your friends or not your friends, and really difficult and challenging and all that. But like at the end of the day, I always say like chronic ill, anything is always, yes, friends do help, but it's always mostly a solo battle. Because at the end of the day, you have to deal with your mental struggles, and no one can just say like, "Hey, you're gonna get better," and you're like, "Oh, okay, I'm okay." It's more of it's something brain activity. It's like a very weird, like we don't even know how to help. If that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we fight our minds just as much as we fight what we're dealing with physically. And, our minds can be a scary place. They can tell us things that
Amen.
are not true. It can get us believing that people think things of us that they don't really think. I mean, our minds are a really scary, scary place to be sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
there's a
can.
level of toxic positivity that you want to avoid, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, you don't want to get stuck in that mind frame of this is how my life is going to be and it's over and I don't matter and I don't have anything to offer because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are or what your situation is. You always have something to offer. There's going to be somebody out there that needs to hear what you have to say and what you've dealt with. Maybe they're dealing with the same thing, and that's why they need you to speak up.
Yeah, I think I'll just disagree with you a little bit. I think like when you're first diagnosed and stuff, I think you're in a bad spot to help others, and I do.
Okay.
Yeah, like you can't like not everyone is gonna be valuable to everyone for all their lives. Some people they can have shit times where they just like useless to everyone and everything, and they just have to like ride through the the bottom of the wave, I guess. Yeah, it's like it is tricky. I think it just I think a big thing is it takes time. Like maybe yeah, you are feeling shit all maybe for a long time, but like as cheesy as it sounds, it gets better. I know it's always hard to tell someone that, but I mean
Yeah,
it's a slow process. Like it doesn't take one day or a week or a month. It might take years to see progress.
yeah. And we need to allow ourselves to grieve. We need to allow ourselves to feel the anger, the frustration, the pain. It's okay. That's part of it. That's part of it. It's just, I think we need to find a way to put a time limit on it. And that's really hard to do. There might have been something that happened yesterday that is now affecting me today, but I have to find a way to put a time limit on that anger. Otherwise, it's going to take over my life.
So let's just update the audience of what you have. So in December 2012, you were diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, which is where the immune system mistakenly attacks your body tissues. It causes loss of joint pain and swelling. You also have, I'm going to say it again, palmoplantar pustulosis psoriasis, a rare type of psoriasis which causes blisters like sores on the palm of your hands and the soles of your feet. I have here that you had extremely bad luck. A medication that you were taking to treat your rheumatoid arthritis called TNF blocker actually caused you to get psoriasis and started a whole nother journey. So how was handling all of that?
It was awful. It was absolutely awful. I to even try to describe the pain of what I was going through. And so probably the easiest way to refer to it is medically induced psoriasis. And it's super rare, but it does happen. And when they warn us that these big powerful drugs have a lot of side effects, it's very true. There's a lot of possible side effects, and so we have to kind of once again prepare ourselves to deal with that. And I don't think I did. I think I foolishly thought that whatever magical pill or biologic infusion that they were going to give me was going to be like this instant cure and solve all my issues, right? That's not how it works. And sometimes what the one thing that's helping you causes something that's not going to help you. And so I ended up getting all these sores all over my body. I mean, it was my scalp all the way down to the bottom of my feet. And at first they thought it was a skin infection because I went to see urgent care about it because it was getting really bad. When it first started, it was up and down my entire leg. And my husband was super concerned. That's not normal. It was really bizarre. And yeah, it turns out when I went to my rheumatologist for my next infusion that it was not an infection whatsoever. It was this medically induced psoriasis. Some people refer to it as Palmer-Plantar pustulosis psoriasis,
Even you can't say it.
or PPP. I mean, that's another term for it.
We're just gonna call
But
it PPP for the rest of this podcast.
yeah. And my family doctor, he described it as looking like a burn victim. He said, you look like you have
Oh my god.
burns from inside out. So instead of the burn starting on the outside, they were starting on the inside. And so my skin almost looked like an onion trying to peel its way to a healthier version of itself. And what basically happens with psoriasis is your skin is trying to grow faster. It's trying to build itself faster than it actually can, which you'd think that our skin trying to do this is a good thing, but it's actually not because it doesn't slough off like it should. And that's where people get the plaque psoriasis and all of that. And with the PPP, you also get these giant, they kind of look like boils in a way. It's pus filled sores. And as they blister and peel away, you look like a burn victim. And so I have all kinds of scarring all over my body from all of these sores. After being exposed to it for so long, it became a lifelong diagnosis. They said there's no way to backtrack to make it go away. And
So,
so now I have to take a medication that treats both rheumatoid arthritis and psoriasis. And so that was difficult to try to find a good combination because a lot of dermatologists, they don't see a lot of that kind of psoriasis. So all the typical treatments that they would give to someone for it actually causes more pain because topical treatments that should be soothing actually make this kind of psoriasis feel like your skin's on fire or burning,
oh no.
out melting. Yeah.
So when you
So,
got diagnosed with the psoriasis, so like what was like the priority of trying to treat, like the psoriasis or the rheumatoid arthritis? Like what was more painful to you?
oh my gosh. At the time, honestly, my joints had been pretty under control from my treatments. And so the biggest concern was my skin. My skin was a wreck. And it was so, so painful. And of course, embarrassing. So then you don't want to leave your house because you look like
Mm-hmm.
a burn victim that is super fragile, right? And oh gosh, when COVID hit, that was horrible because everyone wants to put sanitizer on all the time. And when you have skin
Mm,
problems like that, the last thing you want to do is put sanitizer all over it. So that's not helpful. And you know, I I really think that that was a time where I could have easily let my mind go sideways because it's hard to feel like that day in and day out, and nothing will fix it. Nothing solves it. Aloe, other things like that can soothe it, but that's about the best you can get. And you kind of got to ride the waves. And they finally found a combination of medications that worked. That's when slowly it started to go away. But then I was left with all these scars too.
yeah, I was thinking like the pandemic would have helped you more just because you were able to hide more and you didn't have to go outside as much, so you didn't have to like care what other people thought because you wouldn't see you, but I do understand the like putting the sanitation on. I mean the sanitizer
Yeah.
on would really affect you because like I said earlier, it affects your palms and that's like the worst. That's where all the germs are. And then like does it hurt to like I'm guessing it hurts to like walk too with blisters everywhere?
Oh, oh gosh, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible because, just picture these boils all over the bottom of your feet that are oozing and every time you take off a pair of socks, your skin goes with it.
Oh my god.
I mean, it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. It's like, do I wear socks because later I have to take them off and that's going to hurt? But protecting my feet from the elements, that kind of feels good too. So it's a lot of like, what the hell do I do? Because I can't win if I do this and I can't win if I do that. So what is my best option?
I I don't know why, but I just feel like you did buy a set of Crocs and then you're like good to go.
I know. What I did try is they have those socks that have like the gel attached to them, and so I would wear those. I even wore them to bed because something about that nice gel, it it felt soft against my skin, and as it's peeling, it gets really thick and rough
Mm-hmm.
and it catches on things, so it hurts. And so you put something like that on it that's nice and soft, it's almost like it feels like putting lotion on constantly. And so it was very soothing. And so a lot of times I had those kind of socks on all the time. Luckily, I don't get it on my feet very often anymore. It's usually only on my hands, but I've been doing phototherapy and it's working. So my hands actually look pretty good right now.
Yeah, so let's talk about the psychotherapy. So I know you just got on it about like a month or 2 months, maybe three more, maybe since you posted it. Like you posted like a
Yeah.
sponsored ad.
Yeah,
Hopefully
it's
they
a
sponsor this video too. But yeah, so how's that going for you? Like, is it like a brand new technology for you, or is it like something willing to try?
yes. Yes, so it's pretty new and so this is it. It's a little handheld
Okay,
device
okay.
and it pairs with my phone. It the whole app and everything, it tracks my treatments, tells me when I need to do them. It tells me how long to do it, and all I have to do is like take it, push a button, set it on my hand. That's it. And it takes me about 5 minutes, 3 times a week. So they're not paying me or anything like that, but they did give me the device to try free of charge, which is amazing. And they're incredible. And I love this company that they have the sweetest, most responsive people. I actually have a person that's partnered to me that checks in on me, and she'll check the
Mm.
pictures as they look at the app, and she'll let me know how it's looking and comment on the progress. It's amazing. So the company is called Zerigo Health, and they came up with this. It's on the other side of the room. It's plugged in, but it's a little handheld device, and at the bottom, it's got the red light therapy or phototherapy.
Wow, that's not much at all.
That's not bad. I Hands down, I think anyone dealing with any kind of psoriasis should definitely have some kind of light therapy.
Oh, that's impressive actually.
Yeah, and I guess it's supposed to help with eczema too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a skin doctor in any shape or form, but I feel like they're like part of the same family, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. The doctor probably tell me I'm wrong. I don't know.
I don't really know much about eczema. I know that there's a lot of similar-ish skin issues out there. And I'm sure that, the body attacks its way in different ways for each one, but they all are a little bit similar. There's different kinds of psoriasis and eczema. If I remember correctly, I think my rheumatologist said there's like hundreds of different types and causes.
It's horrible.
So, yeah, feel bad for.
So you have rheumatoid arthritis and you have PPP now. You know, you're getting all this horrible rashes. So I'm guessing how long did it take for you to get on a good regimen of medicine where you are, I guess, more and more living a regular life with minor inconvenience. Like, how long did it
Yeah,
take you to get that
so
right combination of medicine?
Yeah, so that one, it probably took a few months. We tried a few different things. They had an injection called Cosentyx that they had me try that a lot of people with psoriasis use. And I don't know if it's just because it's a different form of it. It just didn't work for me. We moved on. We found it's actually a pill. It's called Otezla, and I take it every day. And before, if I even missed like one or two doses, my hands would break out. But now
Hmm.
that I'm doing the phototherapy, I can miss a dose and my hands stay fine. So that's pretty incredible.
Wow,
But
that's really good
yeah,
then.
I wish I would have. I wish I would have known about this years ago because I've been dealing with this since 2017, and it's now 2023 that I've discovered the awesomeness of phototherapy.
Well, so now the question is, are you gonna try to? So are you trying to? I mean, I'm assuming you're not working with your doctor on it because I'm pretty sure it's not a FDA approved treatment. So are you trying like do more of the therapy and less of the medicine? Like, are you gonna try to like
Okay, so
take
actually,
away?
This is an FDA cleared
Oh, it
device,
is.
and
Okay.
it's actually a prescription, and so people
Oh,
can actually
okay.
ask. their rheumatologist or dermatologist for it. And
Okay,
so you
that's
work
great.
with your doctor to make sure that you have the right kind that qualifies for this. I had no idea that a device could be a prescription, but that's so cool.
Assumed it wasn't
Yeah.
FDA approved, but that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So unfortunately, I still need to stay on my medications because that's going to help with my rheumatoid arthritis. That's never going to go
Mm-hmm.
away. But I feel like, if I stay on this combination going forward, it's pretty good. I'm definitely not in like a remission per se. There's definitely room for improvement, but because of what I've been through with allergic reactions, I'm a little leery to go try anything new.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
the last
definitely
one is you're
options.
on, that would be great for anybody.
Yeah, I would take the situation I'm in and being able to tolerate what I go through more than the fear of what could go wrong.
No, yeah, yeah. I don't have RA or PPP, so I can't say for myself. But yeah, like it's just you don't want to relive that really dark moment of everything that you don't want. And I'm assuming your life is pretty stable. Like I'm sure you had your some bad flare days or bad days sometimes, and your body just screwing
Oh
you
yeah.
over
Oh
for
yeah.
no apparent reason. Yeah,
Oh
and then
yeah.
you just
I
don't want
definitely go through flares. Yeah. I mean, there's times where, I wake up and my ankles are swollen for no apparent reason other than the fact that I have RA, and that's
to.
part of life. But and that was today. I woke up today and my ankles just were killing me.
Oh
But
no.
one thing I got to remember is movement is medicine too. When you have something like rheumatoid arthritis, movement is necessary, even though it's painful. And as crazy as it sounds, getting up and moving, even if it's limited, helps lubricate and loosen up the joints. And so it's finding that right combination of let's not injure something, but let's move it a little bit and feel a little better.
Yeah, I know it's easy for you to say and it's easy for me to say, but of course it's always dependent on the person too. Like I,
Oh yeah.
I always like wonder like people always say like chronic ill people are really strong people, and I don't really feel we're stronger. I just feel we're proven that we're stronger just because we've been through a lot more shit. And I think more people are just stronger than they think they are just because they've never been tested, so they just don't know. Yeah, we're kind of like I
Yeah,
don't feel like we're stronger because we're just forced to deal with it. Like we can't just like give up and it's like tomorrow we just go back to normal. It's like we gotta deal with this shit or like nothing's happening. It fucking sucks.
yeah, absolutely. We have no other choice, right? So it's either I let my life end or I fight for what I can. And, I choose the latter, of course. But, for everybody, depending on what you're dealing with, it's all different, right? But at the end of the day, it's that choice we make, right?
Yeah, so let's talk
And
about chronic ill journeys. Do you find do you find more comfort sharing your story, or do you more like to keep it inside? Because it's always a hit and miss of like how I feel. So how do you feel? Like, do you feel more empowered sharing yourself, or do you just like to keep it more on the inside, just to keep it on the inside?
so I am much more comfortable now sharing. And I think that the reason why I'm so comfortable sharing is I think that the more real and raw we are with the crap we deal with, the more relatable we are. And so even though what I am dealing with is probably different than what you're dealing with and what the next person is dealing with, but what we have in common is that we're all dealing with something. And so I might go to the grocery store and see somebody that looks absolutely normal and healthy, but at the end of the day, I have no idea what's going on with them. They might be fighting a battle that I have no idea about. And and so by being comfortable in my own skin to be honest and share my story, I'm hoping that I'm making other people comfortable with sharing with me too.
Yeah, I know you're comfortable in your own skin, but you're getting uncomfortable in your own body.
Exactly. Exactly. But
Oh
it's
yeah.
not like we wake up one day and just feel like that, right? It's taken years of working through the shit. In the middle of all of this that I was dealing with, I had a niece that was terminally ill. She was born with a rare genetic disease that was going to take her life, and it did. She died in February of 2012 at the age of 3. And so I think, going through what I was going through and seeing what my sister-in-law and her family were going through, people need to hear that we're not just perfect human beings walking around having a wonderful day. Because nobody is. I think we're lying if we try to tell people we are.
It's kind of a tricky thing. I fell into a trap of kind of thing. Like I know where you're headed and like I get it, but like from my experience of being more deeper into chronic ill community, I find that the more people complain about some, I don't know if complain is like the right word, but like express their dark moment, I feel like it's more toxic. For one, I think it's sometimes you're reliving that moment again, and I think sometimes I think a lot of people think like, oh, it makes me feel better, but I don't think it makes you really feel better. I think they keep reliving it, and I feel like one of the harsher truths that helps me out is like get over it, because I think that's the only way you can help. If you keep revisiting your past, you can't really heal from it. I think that's a big thing, and I think too is
Right.
if everybody else is sharing their negatives all the time, it really affects you negatively, that you can't really heal because you keep getting negative towards you. Like, it's like, I guess like analogy is, would you rather have like knives being thrown at you, or would you rather have puppies being thrown at you? What will heal you more? You want the puppies. So like, I think I get where you're coming from, and that's great. But I think more positive, I think helps more people versus being like, hey, life sucks. I think more positive helps
Yeah.
more than just like I think like
Yeah.
maybe okay. I think like a healthy like 70% good and then like 30% bad, but it can't be like 100% good or 100% bad. It has to be like a more positive and
There's
negative to help.
definitely Yes, there's definitely a middle ground, and I think it's healthy for people to recognize that you need to find that middle ground that's good for you. And what works for one person is not going to work for another person. Like maybe there's people out there that can handle hearing negative all day long. That's not personally me because I will take on everybody else's woes. If I have 20 people coming at me with all their horrible things that they're dealing with, I'm going to let it affect me emotionally. I will let it bring me down because I will worry, I will be concerned, I'll want to help. And there's a lot of times you can't help. And it's hard to be in a situation where you cannot help somebody. And so that can bring you down as well. And so it's this hard thing of finding that middle ground of what works for each individual.
Yeah, it is hard. It's like I think some people that don't know too. They're just like, oh, I'm advocating and all these great things, and like I get it, but I think sometimes they should take a step back and understand what doing it. Because I don't know, because like I don't like if you go on my page, yeah, there's some advocacy to it, but like I don't really advocate that much because I'd rather be more of a entertaining, fun thing to do. I think there's just so much bad things in the world, and I don't want to like contribute more. And it's also really my problem with it. Like I don't really want to make my problem into your problem, unless you can kind of help me. But like most people really can't help in any way. Like I think it's more like I rather you come to my page and be entertained and be happy. I want to share happy moments with you. Cause like I ran into like a wall of like I just can't take anyone's shit anymore. Like for one, I can't help you, and two, it just really brings me down. Like I don't need to focus on my own shit. I have my own shit. It's a lot for any one person, and I want like happy thoughts. It's like, hey, I want to hear you winning, and like you got a
Yep.
dog, or like something great. Like I want like yeah, everyone gets shitty moments, but like I think you can find like little blips of happiness once in a while too, and like let's like celebrate that.
Yeah.
What's also weird about pain too is that we don't really remember pain. Like we remember how bad it was, but we really don't remember it. We remember happy moments, like how it felt. But pain, you kind of don't. Can you hear me?
Yes. I don't know what just
Yeah,
happened.
yeah. So yeah, like pain, you don't really remember it. Like I rather just I want to like remember the happy moment because when we look back, most of the time we're thinking about happy moments and then maybe the really really sad moment, but we don't remember like the little sad moments. But we remember all the happy moments. Like oh, remember the one time we had lunch together at at Paris and we ate a croissant and the pigeon ate it. You know,
Right.
like little things. Like we don't remember the bad things. Like you don't remember like the person you dated for a month and you broke up with. Threw a habit to you for 3 months. You don't remember that. You just forget about it. So I feel like we should celebrate more happy moments than sad.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, I think, so many people, I'll use Instagram as an example, or TikTok. That's why they're going over and watching, TikToks and the reels because they want something to get them out of what they want entertainment, they want laughter. And every once in a while, I'll do a more serious reel, but it actually like pains me to do it. And it's so hard to hit the share button. And I did that last week and it was really hard. It was a reel that I'd worked on, oh geez, over a month ago. And I just had it sitting there forever. And finally I was like, you know what? I'll just share it. And maybe I can put a positive spin on it and maybe somebody needs this today. And if they don't,
Yeah, I mean, you gotta kind of do whatever it is for you. Like you are your own brand and style, and people will either follow you because they like you for you and what you present,
yeah,
bring out to the world. And if they don't, then they'll just unfollow you and find someone else. Maybe they love the trauma. They want to follow someone that's full of trauma and it's not healthy for you, but that's their
right.
journey they have to find out and maybe have to eliminate down the line because that's not great. It's hard when you're diagnosed and you're in pain and you don't think clearly. So they kind of like grabbing everything and you don't know what's good and what's not, and it takes you years to like build up your strength a little bit,
Definitely.
and then you start to realize, hey, this person on social media is toxic. I want to like unfollow because it's not helping me. It's actually making me more sad or not great, and it's like I'm not entertained by the. Because at the end of the day, we should all just be surrounded by happy people
Yeah,
for the most
exactly.
part, or like supportive people. Get it? Because life is shit. We don't want more shit. So I have here your chronic illness journey started at 32. You also have a daughter who's fighting her own autoimmune disease. So how do you juggle being a mom and rock for her, but you're being also a rock for yourself?
Okay, so my daughter is a young adult. She is 23 years old. And so she
Okay.
doesn't live at home anymore, but it's still hard because I think we're looking back on some of the complaints she had as a child and not realizing that we didn't realize it was normal growing pains. And,
Oh no.
rheumatoid arthritis, they always say it runs in families as genetic, but it usually skips generations. It's not like my mom's going to have it, my grandma's going to have
Okay.
it, and I'm going to have it, and now my daughter. It tends to skip around. So she doesn't have an actual diagnosis yet, but she does see the same rheumatologist that I do. They've talked to her about, I'm trying to remember the name of the condition, but it's basically the best way for me to describe it is people that are overstretched. Like they're so flexible that it actually causes pain on yourself. People that can like do things with all their different joints and ligaments, like being able to bend your finger all the way backwards. So
Like EDS,
similar to EDS, but
Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
yeah, it's similar, but not quite as bad, I guess. So it doesn't come along with some of the other struggles. And so they're thinking that this is what she has. And so she's had to go to physical therapy and all that fun stuff. And basically, people like that, things like yoga could actually be more detrimental because you're so stretchy that you don't realize you're going to hurt yourself and that tomorrow the rest of the week your back is going to be hurting because of what you did today. And so, trying to just coach her through it and give her tips because she's going through something, but it's not quite the same as mine. So a lot of it is just listening and recommending, okay, well, maybe you need to message the rheumatologist and tell her this, or take notes, track this, take pictures of whatever's going on. Just journaling is super important. You've got to track everything. You've got something to deal with. And so, yeah, it's hard. It's hard as a parent because that's the last thing you want to do is feel like you're passing on bad genetics.
Yeah, I mean, if it's, it might, I just from my experience of talking with so many people, it sounds like hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and one of the recommendations they actually recommend is exercising, get the strength of the muscles and help you be in less pain.
Yeah.
Okay, before it used to be that you shouldn't exercise and stuff. So I mean, if you want, I can help you with some Ehlers-Danlos syndrome people, and maybe it is that diagnosis, and they can definitely help you
Yeah.
get, especially if the rheumatologist doesn't know what the disease is, and they're just kind of throwing things at a wall and hoping something sticks.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess
And they
the
do,
earlier you know, the better.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And they do think it's some kind of hypermobility, but I guess there's different kinds. And so,
Hmm.
unfortunately, it takes time to figure out which one
You,
is the one. And also
you
recommend to
could
her that sometimes a second opinion is needed because sometimes they don't know. And you
uh,
got to move on.
to get I know to get a full diagnosis of it, you should get a DNA test, not DNA test,
Yes. So that is
DNA screening, I think.
so that is what they
Yeah,
recommended.
that would help.
The next step is they want her to get genetic testing done. So
There you go. That's the word.
so that's where we're at right now is she gets to and she hates blood draws. Oh my gosh. I thought I was bad. My poor daughter, I have to remind her she has earbuds and she sticks them in, listens to music and tries to just tell herself she's okay. and and not look at the needle.
Oh my god. Yeah. It's yeah. Just. I mean, I'm not a parent. I mean, I hope I don't have a kid running around that I don't know of. So if you're out there, please don't talk to me. But yeah, it's yeah, I just can imagine that. But it's also like you have, like we were kind of touching earlier, like what, like you can't really pour from an empty cup because you have to be strong for yourself because you're dealing with a lot of your own shit. But I'm assuming you're okay for the most part that you're able to handle her problem because I know as much as she's an adult now, you're always gonna care for her for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like gonna do everything you can. So like, yeah, it must be hard to. I mean, I think it's kind of relatable in the whole chronic community that you can listen to people's stories, but it's always difficult that you can't help them in any way possible. Like, yeah, you can help them a little bit and such and be supportive, but it's not like I guess it's even closer to your daughter. You can't really like help, like you're in pain, like I can't take it away. And it must be
Yeah.
extremely difficult to watch.
It is. And we don't live in the same town anymore. And so honestly, when she comes at me with things, depending on what it is, I mean, there's times where I've ordered her compression gloves and had it sent to her house because her wrists are bothering her. And so
Hmm?
with friends, we can do the same thing. I had a friend after shoulder surgery. She called to check in on me and she said, hey, what do you need? What can I do for you? And I was like, well, I don't know. You live in Phoenix and I live in Washington, so I don't think you can do anything. And next thing I know, I received in the mail like the next day, she ordered me this giant stand that holds a blow dryer. Because she was like, you know what? It sucks not being able to do your hair. So I bet you'd like to be able to do your hair. And so
That's a
she
good one.
trying to think outside the box, and that's what we need to do. When we have friends that are going through things, think outside the box. And sometimes it might be something goofy. Like I have this is a screaming goat that I keep on my desk. It's stupid, but it's entertaining.
Okay.
So maybe they need something to laugh at. Go on Amazon, order a $5 screaming goat, send it their way, and give them a little bit of something to laugh about. I mean, it's okay to think outside the box because we might not be able to help with what they're going through. We might not be able to solve anything, but we can be a supportive friend or parent or sister or brother or whatever.
Yeah, so since you're a spoony sister, how large is your spoon collection?
uh, well, it's kind of funny. Like, I've had people actually send me, I don't think I have any of them near me, but I have fun, different kinds of spoons that people have sent me. And I have a
Hmm.
lot of spoony mugs. My dad likes to constantly have me new mugs made. So I have this one with one of my little logos on it. It says, "Don't forget your
Oh.
spoon." Because I'm always telling everyone, at the end of the day, leave yourself with one spoon. Leave yourself with that spoon to do something for you, to do something fun, or I don't know, have enough energy to watch a Netflix show that you like, whatever it is you need that
That's good advice. Yeah, yeah, everyone has their X amount of spoons. I think some have less than others, and I don't know. I don't know if like I'm just a very high energized person. I just have so many spoons, or other people are weaker. I don't know. It's hard to say like why. Maybe people are more exhausted, or I don't know. But yeah, I think the spoon theory, whoever created it, is really smart about to explain talking to people and such. And yeah, some people are like you will be my third guest for today, and I have two more after this.
day. Oh, wow.
And for some people, it's like, oh, I can only do like one person, and like I'm burned out for the day. Like I have one guest for like we're gonna have a code word of like wanting to stop if we she wanted to stop because she like gets all burnt out. And I'm like, okay, cool, like that's totally fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't know like how it yeah, I don't know how it works of people's minds and creating how everyone's different and
Hmm.
I don't know, it's just crazy to me. I don't know, maybe I just very high energized or maybe I get energized by different things and other people. I really don't know, but
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
It's a great theory that someone came up with to explain chronic ill because
Yeah,
most people are generally more tired than the usual.
definitely. And I think for some people, it might be the illness that they're dealing with. It could be the medications that they're on. I know a lot of medications just wipe people out. And
Mm-hmm.
it's actually Christine Miserandino that came up with the theory. She is a lupus blogger, and she was out to lunch or coffee or something with a friend, and her friend was like, "Tell me about lupus. Like, I don't understand it. Can you explain it to me and what you feel like?" And so she just started grabbing spoons. And I think that's a genius idea.
Yeah, I mean you have a fabulous name too, Spoonie Sisters. My name is not very my title too much. It explains what it is, but not explainable. Like it could mean anything. I could talk about the stock market,
There you
for
go.
for all intents and purposes. But yeah, you have a good like you're most chronic ill people know what the spoon theory is, and I think it's always fun to educate others. It's a good analogy because it applies to every single demographic possible.
Yeah,
And like,
absolutely.
if you don't understand the spoon theory, there's something wrong with you after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So before I take the mic away from you, is there anything you want to say, promote any words of wisdom, the winning lottery numbers? Mike, it's all yours.
I would love to know the winning lottery numbers for someone. Unfortunately, I don't have that gift. But, take one day at a time and just remember that your life is worth living. And and so do the best that you can and find those things that bring you joy and people that make you happy and support you and live each moment the best way you can.
I'm gonna say it better myself, so thank you so much, Jen, for giving me your time and expertise. You can follow her in the description below. Thank you everyone for listening and watching.